Okay, this is changing a fraction to a percent. I'm going to start off with number 17. I'm on the homework practice still, 1-2B. Changing a fraction to a percent. And number 17 is the fraction that they give you is 13 over 25. And they want you to change the fraction to a percent. The step to change fraction percent is very simple. I'll write it right here. You're going to divide and then multiply by 100. Let's make that a 1-2 step. So step 1 is divide, step 2 multiply by 100. Okay, so step 1 you're going to divide, step 2 you're going to multiply by 100. So 13 divided by 25 gives you, again I should have my calculator. Let's see if I can get my assistant. Probably not. Okay, got to pull it up on my computer. So while we are waiting, you can get your calculator and do 13 divided by 25. And when I do it, I get, oops, I pressed 5. 13 divided by 25 gives me 0.52, 0.52. Okay, so then step 2 says multiply by 100. So we take 0.52, multiply it by 100, and we get 52. I'm going to put in a step 3, which is add the percent sign. Because when you multiply by 100, you just get the number 52. But remember, they asked you to write this fraction as a percent. So this is actually 52% as our final answer. 52%. Okay, let's do number 20. Number 20, the fraction that they give you is 9 over 5. So first thing I'm going to do is divide. Oh, there's a glare there. Let's see if I can fix that. Nope. I really don't like that. Looks like all I can do is move it around. Okay, so 9 divided by 5 is 9 divided by 5 equals 1.8. And then multiply by 100. 1.8 times 100 equals 180. And then the third step is you just add the percent sign. So that's your final answer, 180%. Okay, the next question I'm going to do is number 23. Okay, number 23 says 5 over 9. I'm going to divide first. 5 divided by 9 equals, I bet I'm going to get a repeating decimal. Yep. You get 0.5 repeating. And because you really cannot give an accurate decimal, because that 5 repeats forever and ever and ever, leave that in your calculator and just multiply by 100. So leave that 0.55555 repeating forever and ever. Leave it in your calculator and just press times 100. and then you get 55. So when you do 0.5 repeating times 100, you get 55.5 repeating, right? The 5 repeats forever and ever and ever. Let's just round this to 56. Okay, and then finally add your percent sign. So round it to the nearest percent. If they ask you to write it as a percent and you get a repeating decimal, round it to the nearest percent, which is the ones place. Okay, so 55.55555 is closer to 56%. Okay, so that's our final answer. Next we're going to do number 25. For number 25, I think I'm going to need some space. They want you to order each set of numbers from least to greatest. Okay? And I'm just going to tell you, whenever you have to, I apologize if you hear any background noise, as usual. I have a very lively home. But anyway, because I want to do the most I can to help my students, we're going to push past all the obstacles. So order each set from least to greatest. Something I want you to remember, whenever you're doing least to greatest, you are going to, if you have percents, fractions, decimals, and they want you to put them in order in least to greatest, the easiest way to do it is to change all to decimals. Change all to decimals. Okay? Change all to decimals. And give me 1 second. I'm going to try to quiet down my household. Can we lower the volume just a little, please? Joanne, can we lower the volume just a little, please? Your voices? Can you hear them singing? Yes. Okay, sorry about that. Guess you're getting to know me. We're changing all to decimals. So we have, we're on number 25, correct? So easily I get thrown off when I'm distracted. And they want us to change, we want to change 2/5, 0.5, 4%, and 3/10. Okay? 2/5, 0.5, 4%, and 3/10. These are all the numbers they want you to order from least to greatest. So all you have to do, make everything a decimal. 2/5, how do you change that to a decimal? You do 2 divided by 5, which gives us, 2 divided by 5 gives us, 0.4. This is already a decimal, right? Let's circle all our decimals. 0.4, 0.5, 4%. How do we change percents to decimals? All you have to do, change it to a fraction first, which is 4 over 100, right? Change the fraction into a decimal by dividing. So when you do 4 divided by 100, you get 0.04. So there's a decimal. And then 3/10 is a fraction, you just divide. And you get 0.3. So that's the fraction. Okay? So sorry about that. You have 0.4, 0.5, 0.04, 0.3. So we're looking for the order of least to greatest. Now it gets a little tricky with decimals because you can't just look at which one has the most numbers. For instance, the smallest decimal out of these 4 is going to be 0.04. And I'm just going to put them in order first, and then I'm going to go back and show you why. So 0.04 is the smallest. Then, how do I want to do this? Okay, we can do it like this. 0.04 is the smallest, then 0.3, and these are probably obvious, the rest of them, 0.4, and then 0.5. Okay, and then underneath, I just want to write what they were originally. So like 0.04 was originally 4%. 0.3 was originally 3/10. 0.4 was originally 2/5. And 0.5 was 0.5. Okay? So now I'm going to show you how did I know that. How did I know, if you don't know already. Some of you have caught on already, but if you didn't, I want to show you how did I get that order from least to greatest. Okay? Okay, think about this. Let's write down the decimals that we had. The first one I believe was 0.5. Then we had, no, I'm sorry, 0.4 was the first one. Then we had 0.5. Then 4% was 0.04. Then 3/10 was 0.3. So these are your 4 decimals. So when you look at these, all you have to do is move from left to right to find out which one is the biggest or the smallest, because we're looking for the least value first. So when you move from left to right, all these are zeros. So far we're even. When you get in this aisle, what happens? When you get in this place value, the 0 is the smallest. So this is going to be your smallest decimal, 0.04. Then what's next? The 3. So that's your next one. Then the 4, then the 5, right? Some people are saying, well, what about the 4? The 4 is in the hundredths place. So this is actually smaller than any of these numbers. Another way to look at it, people sometimes get it this way. Put down the same decimals. Make it look like money. Right now, the only one that looks like money is this one, right? That would be 4 cents. So this, we add a 0, that would be 30 cents. Add a 0, 50 cents. Add a 0, 40 cents. Adding a 0 at the end of a decimal does not change the value, so that's fine. But now when you look at it, it's easy, right? What's the smallest one? 4 cents, 0.04. Then 30 cents, then 40 cents, then 50 cents. Okay, so hopefully that made it easy for you. So what did I do? Change everything to decimals, and then you can just put them in order from least to greatest. But the answer has to look like this. You can't put the answer, with the decimals, because that's not what they gave you. So you have to make sure you change everything back once you put them in order. Okay? So maybe I'll give you some steps for that one. I'll give you 3 steps to change them all to decimals. Step number 2, this would be step number 1. Step number 2 would be to order decimals. Sometimes they tell you to do least to greatest. Sometimes they tell you to do greatest to least. Step number 3 would be change to original form. So if it was a fraction, change it back to a fraction. If it was a percent, change it back to a percent. Okay? The next question I want to do is number 27. See if I can fit it on here. Well, actually, let me stop here and continue.